Welcome to the Lowdown. I'm Adam, and today we're answering a question that haunts anyone who's ever looked at their portfolio and thought, what was I thinking? Long-term capital management. 1998. This hedge fund had not one, not two, but two Nobel Prize-winning economists on its board. Myron Scholes and Robert Merton. These were people who literally wrote the book on financial modeling. Their fund had the smartest minds on Wall Street. Their models were mathematically flawless. And they lost $4.6 billion in less than 4 months. The entire global financial system nearly collapsed because the smartest people in the room made a bet that was too clever by half. Here's the thing that keeps me up at night. If Nobel Prize winners can blow up their own fund, what hope do the rest of us have? The answer might surprise you. It's not about being smarter. It's about understanding why smart people make the same dumb mistakes over and over. Let's start with the biggest one. Confirmation bias. It sounds academic, but you've felt it. You buy a stock. The next day, you start noticing every positive article about it. You ignore the warnings. You scroll past the analyst who says it's overvalued. You share the bullish tweet from a random account with 12 followers. That's confirmation bias. Your brain is protecting your ego. Admitting you made a bad purchase would hurt, so your brain filters out evidence that contradicts your decision. It's not stupidity. It's a survival mechanism gone wrong. Here's a famous example. In 2007, just before the housing crash, a survey found that 80% of investors believed their own portfolio was safer than average. 80%. That's statistically impossible. But everyone had found their own reasons to feel safe. My house is in a good neighborhood. My bank is different. I know what I'm doing. The fix is brutal but simple. Before you make any investment, write down one sentence: what would prove I'm wrong? Then actively look for that evidence. If you can't find any good counterarguments, you haven't done enough research. You're just confirming what you already want to believe. Here's the second bias, and this one has a Nobel Prize behind it. In 1979, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky published a paper that changed economics forever. They proved that humans feel losses about twice as painfully as they feel equivalent gains. Losing $100 hurts roughly twice as much as finding $100 feels good. This is called loss aversion, and it explains almost every bad investing decision you've ever made. Why do people hold on to losing stocks for years? Because selling means accepting the loss. And accepting a loss feels worse than the hope that it might come back. Why do people sell winning stocks too early? Because locking in a small gain feels safer than risking a loss for a bigger gain. Kahneman and Tversky won the Nobel Prize for this. Not for inventing a trading strategy. For proving that our brains are wired to make us bad investors. The fix is mechanical. Set rules before you feel the emotion. Decide in advance: if this stock drops 15%, I sell. No exceptions. Not when it drops. Before. Because when you're in the moment, your loss aversion will override your logic every single time. The third bias might be the most dangerous, because it affects the smartest people the most. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. The basic idea: people with low ability in a domain overestimate their skill, and people with high ability underestimate it. In investing, this plays out in a terrifying way. Beginners don't know enough to be scared, so they trade recklessly. And experts? They see so many variables that they hesitate at exactly the wrong moment. But there's a specific group that gets destroyed by this: smart people who are new to investing. If you're a successful doctor or lawyer or engineer, you're used to being the smartest person in the room. You've been rewarded your whole life for being intelligent. So when you start investing, you assume your intelligence will carry you. It won't. The stock market doesn't care how many degrees you have. In fact, studies show that men with higher IQs actually trade more frequently, and earn lower returns because of it. The overconfidence that comes with intelligence leads to overtrading, and overtrading leads to underperformance. The fix: keep a trading journal. Write down every decision and why you made it. When you lose money, go back and read what you were thinking. You'll spot the pattern. Overconfidence doesn't feel like overconfidence, it feels like certainty. A journal makes you face reality. The fourth bias is the one that creates bubbles. Herd mentality. When everyone around you is buying Bitcoin at $60,000, or loading up on tech stocks in 2021, or buying houses with no money down in 2006, it takes enormous psychological strength to sit on the sidelines. The reason is social proof. Evolution taught us that if everyone in the tribe is running in one direction, you should run too. Those who didn't got eaten by predators. But in investing, that instinct is deadly. By the time the herd is running toward an asset, the smart money has already bought. You're not early. You're the exit liquidity. Howard Marks, one of the greatest investors alive, put it simply: the most dangerous thing in investing is the belief that this time is different. It's never different. The players change. The assets change. The story changes. But the psychology is the same. So what's the practical system? Here's what works. First, automate your decisions. Set up a recurring investment that buys every month regardless of what the market is doing. You never have to decide when to buy or sell. The system decides for you. Second, check your portfolio less. Studies show that investors who check their accounts daily earn lower returns than those who check quarterly. More information doesn't lead to better decisions. It leads to more emotional reactions. Third, find a framework and stick to it. Value investing. Dollar cost averaging. Index funds. Pick one and commit. The strategy matters less than the consistency. So here's the takeaway. Intelligence doesn't protect you from cognitive biases. In many ways, it makes them worse. Smart people are better at rationalizing bad decisions, better at finding evidence for what they already believe, and better at convincing themselves they're the exception. The people who succeed in investing aren't the smartest. They're the ones who build systems that protect them from their own psychology. They set rules before the emotion hits. They automate their decisions. They check their portfolios less. And they know that the biggest risk isn't the market. It's the person staring back at them in the mirror. If you want to stay ahead of everyone, and that includes your own brain, hit subscribe. We'll see you next week.